What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Against the Ropes podcast. I am Gio. I'm alongside Christian and Christian. This is episode 28.
28. All right, guys, let's start with it. Let's go over some fights this weekend. We have the Lamont Peterson fights. We have the Pulev in the heavyweight division, and we have the Jessie Magdaleno, to name just a few. So let's start with the Lipinets and Peterson. Did you guys catch those fights? No? No? Yeah? What'd you think about that, Gio?
It's good, man.
Yeah?
Remember when we were looking at the calendar and we said this is probably one of the fights that we wanted to watch the most, obviously after that Errol Spence against Mikey Garcia. And it was a good fight. I mean, I'm surprised for a PVC event because normally they don't give you 50-50 fights, but this was a really good fight. I enjoyed it. I don't know. What you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Obviously, obviously this is not the same Peterson that fought Khan, but he's still, like, on the scorecards, he's still ahead on those on a lot of the judges' scorecards.
Yeah.
And he was out punching Lipinets, even though Lipinets was he started to turn the tide, but Peterson was showing a lot of heart.
Did you see the official scorecards or no?
I just know they were like ahead.
I thought Lipinets was ahead.
Really? Yeah.
I know Fox kept scoring it for Peterson, but yeah,
it was close. It could have been like a draw. Or
it was a close fight.
Yeah. To me, like, this kind of reminded me a little bit. Obviously, not in the same skill level. Not at the same skill level as Chavez Senior and
Pernell.
Not Pernell.
Meldrick Taylor.
But a little bit like that, where Peterson's just out, beating the aggressor, the aggressive fighter in Lipinets, but you just start seeing that tide turn. But I was surprised that the commentators were not more excited, because there was a bunch of like hits like you could have like.
It wasn't.
It was obviously not Joe, not Goosen, because he was working the corner. But dude, I was like, man, you should be more excited. This is a really good fight. This is
Jared Hurd,
yeah, and
I don't know. I put it on low, and I don't listen to them.
Yeah, and then it was Caleb Plant's fiance also.
Jordan.
Yeah, calling the fight. But yeah, dude, I was like, man, they should be more excited. There's a bunch of like good action in these 10 rounds. But
to me, it was the best fight that I've seen this year.
Yeah.
I was impressed by Lipinets at 147 because he showed the power. I mean, he's just slightly bigger than Mikey Garcia, so I was trying to see how, he was going to deal with the 147 division, and it was a good fight for him, man. Knockout. It's not easy to knock out Lamont Peterson. Actually, they throw in the towel. Did you agree with that?
I think he could have probably lasted like another round, but then again, they know their fighter more than any of us, so I mean it's a good call at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They know how much he has left in the tank, and obviously they know the decisions, ahead of time. Like obviously we didn't expect that he was gonna retire, but
remember I said he was done, like when we were giving our predictions for that fight. But I don't think he was gonna be done, like for real. I thought he was gonna maybe lose this one and then fight like a couple more fights, beat like lesser opponents or lose against better opponents and then retire. But I didn't expect him to
announce it.
Yeah, right after the fight.
Yeah, and I think his brother was in the undercard.
Yeah, he always is. That fight was weird. We'll talk about it a little bit, but yeah, Lipinets, guy's a machine, dude.
That guy's just sturdy, man. He's just like a rock. Like,
it's like your typical Eastern European rugged, style. Comes forward, throws a lot of punches, and he throws a lot of good straight punches. That's the thing. He throws a lot of good jabs and straights. That's ultimately caught Peterson.
I was gonna say that he doesn't have the fastest jab, but he has a really consistent and like just strong jab, and that's the thing that got him in this fight. Other than all that body work that he put in.
Yeah, and Lamont Peterson was landing a lot of body shots too on Lipinets. So
that left hook to the body just kept coming, and I was like, okay.
And he was not flinching.
You would, I guess it was just one man that was taking those body shots just a little bit better. Again, that was just Lipinets, like just having such a strong, sturdy frame, and he was listening to his coach, like, keep chopping him down. That was literally chopping down the tree type of fight. Yeah.
And it was like I thought Pearson, if he would have fought more from the outside.
Yep. I was gonna say that they were fighting Lipinets' fight, right?
Like, on the inside.
I'm like, Where's the style that fought Khan like that? Just boxing, like move out.
Yeah, like his
Yeah,
brother
stick
did
and move,
in the
yeah.
fight before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was weird.
It was almost as like he's trying to prove himself like by fighting that style fight.
Yeah.
Like if I can
still
beat him
got
at this
it.
style, I'm gonna stay. But yeah, because I could have seen him like out boxing him, like moving, sticking and moving, and he didn't do that. I was like, oh.
But I also want to give credit to Lipinets for that because he was doing a good job, like cutting off the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and he stays on your ass. Like he's not gonna let you breathe. We saw that against Mikey
Yeah.
Garcia, and we saw it again in this fight.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy that we're just talking about Mikey and Lipinets and their fights, and what, a year ago Lipinets was on the losing side, now Mikey's on the losing side, and like this is how you bounce back.
Yeah.
And so he's looking good. He's looking for at 147. I'm not sure he has.
Yeah, like I said, he's
Enough?
only slightly bigger than Mikey,
Yeah.
so I thought he was gonna struggle a little bit more against Peterson, but he did well. I
Yeah.
mean, he showed his power.
And we became fans of Lipinets after that Mikey fight,
Yeah.
right? Just because we're like, man, this guy can take a punch. Like, yeah, this guy's tough. It's a Provannikov in him, like just same region. That would have been
Yeah. We'll see what 147 holds for him. Like I said, he's smaller than most 147s, but I mean, they're saying this is his ideal weight, so we'll see. I think at 140 he would just dominate everybody.
Yeah. Did they interview him after the fight?
It's his ideal money weight. You know what
Right,
I mean?
140. Yeah,
47.
147. Yeah.
No, well, Goosen was saying that he was he didn't say like he was heavy during training camp, but he said his weight was up there. So they're saying like shedding those extra 7 pounds probably would have not happened. So yeah.
Did they say like who they're looking at after the fight? I didn't see the
I don't
post.
think so. I don't know.
Probably Porter.
Well, everybody was so like, all eyes were on Peterson right after he announced his retirement
Yeah.
and all that.
Kind of took the shine a little bit
Yeah.
off of Lipinets.
Yeah, because they took the mic right after the fight ended.
Give me that. mic.
Yeah, it was like that one guy.
Like the MC guy. Man.
Yeah, but good fight, man. Do you think this is it for Peterson, or he's gonna come back?
Well,
Because right off the bat, he's like, "All right, this is it for me," But we've seen that many
Yeah.
times.
give him a week to soak it all in. Sometimes you're just like a victim of the moment, right? And you're just like
Where was the fight at?
DC.
Where is he from?
Yeah, DC in front of his family. He probably got emotional.
Go figure.
Yeah. I think he comes back, and then he really sees. I think he comes back for one fight, but then he really.
I think
sees
he
like,
should.
have it. He didn't look.
He
too
fought a
bad, yeah.
very good opponent. That's the
Mhm.
thing. He can fight. He can beat most of these like C-class welterweights still.
It's just one of those things. Even the trainer threw the towel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is it throwing the towel because of the fight, or is it throwing the towel because of his career?
Do you think he would have got a? Because it was the last.
He was looking so.
The
wobbly.
bell was already
Yeah.
I think it had ring already.
Yeah.
It
I think
about
he
to
was.
ring.
The thing is, he was already wobbly. Are you gonna make the call?
In one more minute.
Okay, cool. The thing is, like, he was already kind of wobbly in the round prior, so like they gave him this extra round.
Call him on the side and tell him we're on here.
So yeah, he was already kind of wobbly on the round prior, so I think they gave him that extra round, and then that was
Yeah, I
that's it.
think when he went to the corner that previous round, they're kind of like, I don't think they told him like exactly like, all right, you got to show him something, but they were kind of telling him like suggesting that. And then yeah, he put his hands down. Remember, he just bounced off the ropes.
He was bouncing, yeah.
And I don't know if he would have got up because they didn't really give him a chance. They just threw in the towel.
And he's been knocked out before, so you know that. It's already in the back of his hand, like in his back. So it's
The memorable fight that I do recall from Peterson was probably Amir Khan, the one
Amir
I
Khan.
remember the most,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I thought he lost, but
we all thought
won
he
it on-
lost,
He won it on the scorecards.
and there was controversy because of like the ref and the point deductions and all
point
that.
deduction against Amir Khan.
And then it was in his hometown, so he had a bunch of factors that helped him, get that win over Amir.
Yeah, I remember
But-
we talked to Roach like for 20 minutes. We were just going off about the point deductions and
Yeah.
the headbutts by Peterson.
Mhm.
And well, Amir Khan got deducted points for pushing
Mhm.
Peterson
Mhm.
because Peterson kept going in with his head, right? He was putting his head on his chin. And then, but when Amir Khan retaliated, that's when they deducted the points. And he ended up losing on the scorecards. It was a close fight from what I remember.
Mhm.
But that was probably my most memorable Peterson fight.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's Amir Khan when Amir Khan is used to like outboxing all these other fighters.
That's when he was
like,
hot. He was a hot name in the.
So to see Peterson, even like with all those, stay in the fight, because there was rounds where like Peterson was getting the better of Khan.
Yeah.
And
like we said, he's a good boxer.
Yeah.
He just didn't employ his boxing skills here against Sergei Lipinets.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. I agree. I would like to see him, come back for maybe one fight against, obviously not the top tier welterweights, maybe not even the B level, but just get another payday, and then cash out
with the win.
Yeah. The thing is, a lot of boxers do like to. I don't want to say they like to, but like if they lose to a good name, they're like, all right, that's it. They don't want to lose to someone's lesser named or So he might just call it. But yeah.
What about the undercard?
I didn't see much of that.
His brother. Did you see his brother's fight?
I saw little like highlights of it.
There's not much action in that one. That was a draw. I thought he was winning. I thought his brother was winning, but they gave it a draw at the end of the day.
He was sticking and moving.
Yeah, he was doing that the whole fight. That's why there was.
This didn't work.
And Lamont Peterson was watching he was watching the fight, obviously, backstage, and he probably said that the judges are not gonna give me the fight if I do this.
Man, and then we talked about like having brothers, fight on similar cards, how it affects them emotionally. Maybe not as much as a Charlo's and stuff, but still.
They're twins, right? They feel the same thing.
But it is gonna affect it. It is gonna affect. Imagine if Alexis over here fought a fight and they stole it from him. Would that?
I'm going for the knockout.
I gotta avenge my bro.
Yeah.
But
come out like Mike Tyson.
Yeah. They do say like in boxing you can let emotions get to you because it throws you off your game plan. So maybe that's what happens.
That's in every sport.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, think about it. When you're doing any sport, like, most of the time you're not even thinking clearly because all that blood is rushing through your brain, all the adrenaline, and you're not thinking clearly. Like, do you ever, like, watch, like, your soccer videos after, and you're like, damn, I could have done this or this different,
Yeah.
But at the moment, you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You're just kind of going through the motion. But, yeah, that was it. Not much on the undercard. Not much on that whole event.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it was cool.
That's a good. Oh, this is like one of those, cards where the main event is.
Yeah.
The main event.
I was waiting for it because I was just sitting there like Sunday. It was on a Sunday evening, and I was just like, come on, just start the fight already.
Yeah.
I don't care about the brother. No disrespect. I don't care about the other dudes. But to me, it was the best fight that I've seen this year.
So and like you said, we saw it on the PBC schedule, and we're just like, it wasn't maybe the best, like the most anticipated by casuals, but like people that know boxing, like, oh, that one's gonna be a good one, and it turned out to be.
Yeah. Well, that whole PBC schedule everything was one-sided, right? You already know who's gonna win the fights. But this one was like, let's see if Sergei's for real. Let's see if Lamont still has it.
Yeah.
It was that type of fight.
Yeah. And that's something that the commentator said that Peterson's one of those gateway fighters where like if you can't beat this guy, you're not. This is one of those guys that he'll show you if you're ready for those big names and those money fights.
And it's not like he fought a bad fight.
He didn't.
Like he still fought well.
Yeah.
Those body shots, like we said, but I think the inside game, you're not probably not gonna be Lipinets doing that.
And it's funny because he was beating him right on the scorecards. I mean, obviously he wasn't.
According to Fox,
yeah, he wasn't winning the story, I guess you can say, but he was tallying points.
I mean, even Sergei against Mikey, like on the inside, he was hitting Mikey with a lot of shots, and Mikey, how he had success was from the outside, right? He knocked him out. He knocked him down. I'm sorry, with the punch, like keeping his distance. But that inside game, if he can do that against other welterweights, it's gonna be very, very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you this: you like Lipinets better at 147 than Mikey did? He looked better in that frame.
Yeah, obviously it's different opponents. But like I said, Sergei is slightly bigger, I think slightly longer, and it looks like he's just more of a natural at 147. So yeah, I think that weight is more suited for him and his style. Cause he's gonna come forward.
Yeah.
He can take a punch, and he can give a punch. So yeah, Mikey's more of a boxer. Against longer guys, it's difficult fighting that way. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, Chris, do you want to introduce? Yeah.
All right, so with us on over the line right now, we have Brandon the Cannon Adams. If you don't know who that is, that's basically the guy who won season 5 of Epic's The Contender. And recently there was some news regarding who's his next opponent, whether it's going to be one of the Charlos or Triple G. So with us right now, he's over the phone right now. So Brandon, what's going on with you right now these days? Because the last time you fought was back in the season finale since November, so it's been a while now. So how do you feel ever since winning that season 5 Contender finale?
It's been interesting, to say the least. I've been very excited for the opportunities, the offers that's been headed my way as of recent, but just winning the Contender, it meant a lot to me, man, because I knew all those guys was really pushing. They was trying to do their absolute best given the situations that we were all given, and to pull through against all of those hungry fighters, man, it was exciting.
And that's the thing, Brandon, because you've been off the sport for a while, for like 3 years. Like, how did you get into the season 5 season? How was that brought up to you to participate in that tournament?
Apparently, from what I hear, the creators of the show, the producer, the directors, they wanted to get in contact with me because they seen a video of mine over the internet. I don't know if they seen it on YouTube or some streaming site, but they seen a clip of me basically saying that I was interested in fighting again, and they did everything in their power to reach out to me and also my promotion, excuse me, and nobody actually was able to get in contact with me because I was turning it down. I didn't want anything to do with the situation that I was in and the results that I was dealt with the last time I was out fighting. I just wanted to prove that given an opportunity, I'd be able to fight again. But I was also battling the inner demons because I didn't want to work with the people I was working with.
Mm-hmm. So you ended up going 4-0. You ended up defeating Sugar Shane Mosley Jr., which is kind of funny because when we saw you fight in that season finale, I almost felt like, Shane Mosley was this, I don't want to say privilege, but at the same time, in your situation, is like this blue collar worker who wants it and it's more hungry. And clearly, when I was watching him fight outside the ring, it's like middle class worker and this, I don't want to say rich person, but you basically put in the work for 10 rounds. Like it was
almost a shutout. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
I know you trying to figure out how to say it, without coming off.
Yeah.
It's challenging our character, but no. I get what you're saying, and I'm sure the world is trying to, they can get what you're saying as far as Shane growing up and having a father, being who he is, and of course, guilty by association.
Right.
And his father's riches is his, it's his own, and it's all from his dad's hard work, and he wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to duplicate it, especially him having the same name as his dad. I'm sure he probably felt, it's a whole lot, even up to this day, that he has to live up to. And then, me, somebody who just started boxing, pretty much at the age of 19, 6 amateur fights, turn pro when you turn 21, and just putting my best foot forward and working hard and just trying to survive and make it. That's pretty much it. That's the story, at least for my boxing career, how I started. But yeah, like you said, growing up, I wasn't born into anything but, poverty. My family, my mom got 9 kids. She come from a huge family. Unfortunately, they didn't make the right decisions growing up, the best decisions, I would say. And they was at least able to teach us that much, to not follow their footsteps and follow the steps to do better, per se, if you will.
And Brandon, literally, like the whole city. Basically, you had your whole family in that had been right in the season finale. If it was like, even though Jay Mosley is from Santa Monica, but everybody from where you're from showed up to the fight.
Yeah, I appreciated that. When I did have them 3 years off, they used mentally. They always challenged me. Physically, I always push myself, and I like to test my mental as well. But being hit with the question, when you gonna fight again? That it does a lot to you. Being a professional fighter, it's tough. Always hearing those words and knowing that these guys believe in me, and I have everybody within my neighborhood. Like you said, there's a lot of family, a lot of guys from my neighborhood, a lot of people came out to come support me. But being questioned, when you gonna fight again, and then them studying boxing all of a sudden, now they picking it up. They're watching all of these fighters, and then they comparing me to these fighters. It's a lot that I gotta live up to.
Right.
Even though I don't, but at the same time I do, because for them to do so, they hold me in high regards, and I hold myself in high regards. Even though I picked up boxing late, I've always been a competitor. So all it is, for me to just bite down, zone in, and focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, and speaking about being in a competitor, you're basically in a competitive division right now. Usually boxing, there's the welterweight, middleweight, and the heavyweight division. It has a spotlight right now. And right now, you ended up winning a tournament in the 160 division. How do you see yourself lining up with the rest of the other middleweights right now? I mean, obviously we hear names like Triple G and Charlo being the names that you may be facing up next, but what's one thing that you carried away from winning that season 5, being around Freddie Roach and Andre Ward?
For me, I'm like, I might not appear it, but I was one of the smaller guys on the show. In stature, you can tell from height and everything. What I carry with me is I'm compact. I have muscles, and I work out. I work out, a lot. I grew up doughy. I'm saying? I was chubby. So, and I never wanted to go back to that. So I kind of conditioned and trained myself with the help of my late trainer, Big Alvin Jones, who instilled always working hard into me when I didn't know how or didn't know how to reach that inner focus. For me, it was me recognizing my situation, knowing that I was smaller, in stature, understanding that a lot of guys were gonna want to outbox me or probably even bully me around. But once we all got in the ring and exchanged leather, I think everybody, if they didn't respect me, they learned to respect me, and I can respect that.
And so you ended up winning $250,000 and also a top 10 rank for the WABA rankings. So like your family, they all see you, and your friends, like they're all watching boxing now, and they're all looking at who are you going to be fighting next. I know Mike Kumberger reported something in the lines that sometime by this week, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to announce it right here, but as far as like when do you probably see like a good, like realistic timetable when you probably make your announcement, or when you're going to probably be seeing you again, watching you fight again?
You know what? First, excuse me, my voice cracking. I guess I'm real happy. I'm proud. But they were, Triple G and Charlo, they both offered me an opportunity to fight either of them. I appreciate the heck out of that, because there's tons of guys that they could have asked. There's multiple guys that they could have went after, but maybe they just think that less of me. Whatever the case is, it's still an opportunity on my behalf, because before they gave me a call, I didn't have a call, and we was actually scoping out and looking at all the guys back at 154, because that's the weight that in which I was fighting at before the tournament took place and everything. And sometimes opportunities come, man, and we're not in position to turn them down. we're only in position to try to make them great per se. So Triple G, he offered me the opportunity, and then a little while later, I heard Charlo's offering me an opportunity. And just looking at both of these two guys, Triple G is internationally known. You know, everybody in this sense kind of know who Triple G is, and I had the opportunity to spar with him when I first turned pro, which was basically like a year and a half into me boxing. So, and when I sparred with him, you know, he didn't know how much experience I had, and we didn't speak much about, you know, our boxing past until after we finished sparring. But, you know, he's up there, he's training to do a job, and I'm up there as a sparring partner to do my job, basically. And we learned to respect each other in the ring and also out, of course. But that was way back when. So for me, I kind of always wanted the opportunity to prove to Triple G, and also to myself, more so than to Triple G, of how much that I've grown. So I was very much looking forward to that fight, because he's a titan in the sport of boxing. He's a giant. His name means a lot in boxing. So, you know, for me to be able to share the ring with the likes of him, you know, that to me was very enticing. And then, you know, Charlo offering to fight me, he's got a world title and he was willing to put that on the line. I'm very appreciative, man, because some people, man, they fight their whole lives and never get the opportunity. They never get a chance to fight for a title, no matter how good or great they are. So, like, both those aspects, like, that's my view upon looking at both of these opportunities. I see them both as to becoming great either way it goes, you know, and I like my capabilities in both of these fights, man. I just want to see which one is actually going to take place.
And Brandon, you know, I know both fighters are in two different entities. One's in the Zone and the other one is in Fox or in Showtime. Are you trying to like line yourself up when you make the choice as far as like fighting this fighter to also make a long-term deal as well too, as far as like I want to make sure that I'm in this stable, whether it's PBC or with the network, with the Zone, like as far as like not just taking a one fight, whether it's with Triple G, but also looking at things more like longevity. Like after Triple G, I can also fight this person in the Zone, or after I could fight Charlo, whether win or lose, I could fight this other fighter in PBC. Are you looking at that from that type of angle as far as your decision making?
To be honest, man, I like to try to just mainly focus upon the task at hand, man, one fight at a time. And right now, you know, both of these guys are, like you said, one is from the Zone or Dancing, however they want to pronounce it themselves. And,
that's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, you know, and the other guy, you know, being from the side he is, BBC, that definitely makes boxing tough, man, because, you know, me personally, man, I want to kind of, I know I picked up boxing late, but I want to fight all the top fighters, and I know it's going to be extremely difficult. That's something, of course, that I have to look into, but I'm not looking forward to doing that because, you know, I kind of don't want to choose sides. I kind of don't want to be a part of, you know, their gang, if you must.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, you know, due to the way I was brought up, that's kind of like how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's either you red or blue in this situation, and that's kind of pretty much what's happening here.
That's how boxing is, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, growing up my whole life, I've always been neutral. And if it was up to me, I would love to keep it that way. That way I can get a piece and a taste of everybody from both sides. You know, they're top guys. I feel, like I said, man, I believe in me a large amount. Like, my belief and my skills and my mentality is out of this world. That's what helped push me through the Contender. That's what allowed me to have so much success, for me to look the way that I did, even though I had 3 years off. I remember I was talking to another guy, man, and they were bringing up Keith Thurman, saying how Keith Thurman didn't have all the time that I had off, but when he came back, he didn't look half as good as I looked. And, you know, to each his own, man, but I just, like I said, man, mentally, dude, I've always had to stay sharp, and mentally, I'm not too prepared to be trying to choose sides. Upon, you know, at this point, I just, whomever we decide to fight, and if they accept it, you know, then so be it. I have no choice but to go in that direction. But hopefully it won't be super long term, because like I said, I'm looking forward to fighting the biggest and the baddest, and testing myself, pushing myself to my limits to becoming the absolute best fighter that I possibly can be.
All right, Brandon, I have two of my other coworkers over here, Chris and Gio, so I'm gonna pass it on to them right now. That way they could ask you a couple of questions.
For sure.
Hey, Brandon.
What's going on?
Hey, first of all, congratulations on winning the Contender Season 5.
Thank you.
My
appreciate that.
My question to you is, you said you started boxing late. What's the biggest lesson that you learned from being in this boxing game?
The biggest lesson that I've learned in this boxing game is you got to learn the outside game way before you pick up the inside. Everything that takes place outside the ring is it's a lot more complicated than what takes place on the inside. And I thought it was the other way around. You know, when I got into boxing, I assumed, you know, it'd be a whole lot easier, you know, to figure everything out before I got into the ring. And for me personally, everybody won't have the same experiences that I have. But, you know, at the same time, that's why I'm able to share my story, my position in the sport. Boxing is moving into not only being a sport. You hear it all the time. People say, "Oh, this is a business. This is a business. This is a business." And I think we all lose sight of it being a sport more so over, you know, it being a business. And I understand that, me being a fighter, I'm not gonna come out here and bash and say the fighters are wrong, because we put everything on the line. But at the same time, like for me, I think learning the outside of the game, like all the business side of boxing, it could definitely help for when you're going inside of the ring. And for me, the hardest part of boxing for me was the outside of the boxing, basically. Everything that took place outside the ring. So if I was to be talking to a group or a crowd of people in which I didn't know, I definitely tell them to talk to people who knows the sport of boxing, who've seen things happen. They have to be experienced. If you want to pick up boxing, you have to make sure not just one man is teaching you, but multiple guys. That way you can hear from multiple guys their stories, you know, their trials, their tribulations. That way, you know, you can actually figure out, you know, if this is what you really want to do, and or you know how to assess problems. If that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, no, yeah, it does. Thank you for sharing that. And Brandon, my second question would be, boxing is your vocation, but what is your purpose for boxing? What's the thing that fuels you when you get into that ring?
For me, this might sound crazy, but I grew up playing a lot of Dragon Ball Z,
Hey.
watching Dragon Ball Z, and playing the video game Street Fighter.
Okay.
And that, like, for me, it kind of hit, you know, how Goku, he always, you know, he's looking for the fight. He wants to be the guy, you know, he wants to test his abilities towards everybody. You know, of course, at the end of the day, he's fighting for the righteousness of saving the earth, but Goku likes to fight because, you know, he likes to push himself. Growing up, I had a lot all the street fights. I didn't like street fighting because I understood, you know, people were getting hurt. And I didn't like a lot of times, you know, growing up within a small community, you wind up fighting the same guys over and over. Like, you guys grow up together and stuff. And, you know, you guys fight each other, but y'all got to have some kind of love or passion towards each other because you guys see each other on a day-to-day basis. So for this boxing, I'm able to make it a sport. You know, we're doing this for fun. You know, it's all love at the end of the day. I want him to return back to his family, and I'm praying he feel the same way for me. So it's, you know, being competitive, me being able to show what I'm capable of doing and testing myself amongst the absolute greatest of our times today.
Hey, there you go. We have a bunch of Dragon Ball Z fans here ourselves. So, dang, you made fan of this one for sure. Again, I want to say congratulations, bro, on your season win. You look excellent against Shane Jr. and your fight against Eric Wade was awesome as well, man. Again, congratulations. We wish you nothing but the best, and we can't wait to see you in the ring again. I'm gonna pass the phone out back to Chris.
Okay.
All right, Brandon, I did record the last minute of that season 5 finale of you when you won, so I'll make sure I'll upload it when you announce who you're going to fight next. That way I could get some more views. But other than that, we really appreciate having you on this boxing podcast. And if you can please give us a good shout out at Against the Ropes podcast, because usually when we have on people, we try to give some notoriety over here. But it's Against the Ropes podcast, Adam.
Okay, I got you, man. I'll post you up on my Instagram and all that stuff. Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time on y'all day to see how, you know what I'm saying, the Contender of Season 5 champion is doing. And looking forward to surprising you guys and also the world.
We appreciate that, Brandon. All right, so take care. We'll follow you, all right? Take care.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks.
Whoa, that was dope. So that was Brandon Adams, Contender Season 5 champion. And dang, honestly, guys, like that was so awesome. Thanks, Chris, for, you know, getting in contact with him, getting him on. You get to know, you know, you see people fighting, but you get to see their personality more when you know, get to that interaction phase. And we didn't know he was a Dragon Ball Z fan, man. I like him more now.
Who isn't, man?
But yeah, dude, he looked, honestly, if I had not known, if I had just seen him from those fights at the Contender, I would have thought he was undefeated, because he looks great, dude. I don't think Shane Mosley Jr. won a single round that last fight. He just,
It's not that he won a single round. He didn't have a single moment.
Yeah, he didn't. And Adams, like you said, you know, I heard of what he said. Like, you were trying to.
I was trying to be polite.
Yeah,
anyway,
but
it's just.
He's just a gritty. You know, nothing was given to him. He didn't have that silver spoon.
There you
can
go.
say. He had to work for everything that he had. He had 3 years off.
It was silver spoon versus silver shovel.
He didn't have that. He had to come on a show, you know, where he probably was not favored.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really. They knew he was, you know, he had some talent, but you never really know until everything's like said and done. And yeah, he won the whole thing, and now it's his second chance right here.
Yeah, it's cool because now he has two options.
Two great offers, man. Yeah.
And
I respect that he says he doesn't want to look ahead. You know, obviously he's taking everything one fight at a time, which, as a boxer, that's actually very smart, because you can't overlook anybody in the sport. But yeah, I kind of want to say he alluded to one side more, but I don't want to. We'll wait for that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, can't wait for him to get in with either or. It would have been nice if Frankie was here, have his opinion on the Charlos. But yeah,
we'll see what happens. So that was Brandon Cannon Adams. So we'll be seeing him soon sometime.
All right. With that, guys, we have a fight this weekend. Ryan Garcia. I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys expect to see him? I know it's still very early in his career, but I'm asking you, Gio, what do you want to see from him? What are some of your expectations for this fight?
A knockout.
A knockout. Any round? Doesn't matter? Just a knockout.
Yeah, they said that he's trying to win this fight as soon as possible, because they're trying to put him up on the Cinco de Mayo. So he's
So maybe under 5, because
so he has to avoid cuts, any injury, and all that. So it's gonna be hard when you have that mindset that you want to be in that card. Who doesn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you want to take care of your business because one, this is your first time that you're the main event,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you have a poster of you and yourself and the other opponent, right?
Yeah.
Not a co-main event. So it's a huge deal, not just for Ryan Garcia, but also the Zone, because this is their prospect right here, the Zone. If when you think about the Zone prospects, I think of Ryan Garcia right here.
Yeah, that's the biggest, prospect, not just in the Zone, but maybe, in all the other, entities. So, anything else that you'd rather see other than knockout? Like we talked.
I unsubscribed, so I don't care about this shit.
We talked
Well,
about.
I guess he'll be paying 20.
We talked about the importance of not just looking, the moves inside the ring, but everything that you do up until then. Anything that you expect him coming out to some music in particular?
Probably wearing a sombrero or something.
Yeah.
Maybe some couple of Spanish words here and there.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, we're able to judge. People can actually see how good Eddie Reynoso is when it comes down to seeing Ryan Garcia, because we're able to see him develop. Because a lot of people don't give Eddie Reynoso because Canelo, Canelo.
Mhm.
But we can see the development grow as we see fight by fight with Ryan Garcia. So pay attention to not just Ryan Garcia, but also what Eddie Reynoso says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is this Saturday in Indio, California.
Mhm.
On pay-per-view.
Subscription.
Subscription.
Yeah, that's pay-per-view. They just trick people into saying the word subscription.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do any more pay-per-view, so I unsubscribed.
Dang. Sold out. So
Yeah, they're raising the prices. We know it was coming, but I was like, I'm out.
how do you guys feel about that new price tag? Would you? I mean, obviously, I know Chris, you subscribed. Did you get the? You still have the 10?
I still have the 10.
Let's say you didn't have that 10 plan. Would you get the $99.99 a year, or would you be like,
Free trials.
yeah? To me, it comes out less, right? Like 8 something, but it's
Yeah,
like,
it does.
but it's gonna be. I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a bunch of months where you're just like, I'm not gonna watch a lot.
Yeah,
right?
back then, see, pay-per-view was like, you just pay for what you want to watch, right?
Mhm.
Now, this pay-per-view version is like, you got to subscribe the whole year to
Yeah,
watch the fights, but yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
subscribing.
yeah. It comes out
As
cheaper.
soon as ESPN Plus raises the prices, I'm
The
out.
thing is, yeah, when that price goes up to 19, it kind of makes you like, oh, I'm gonna save more if I get this 99. But then it's gonna be, me knowing myself, I know there's gonna be like weeks on end, a few months on end, that there's not gonna be a lot of,
yeah.
and you're probably gonna be like kind of forced to watch it just 'cause like, I paid this much, so might as well watch some of
Yeah.
these fights. But yeah, we rather pick and choose.
I didn't even finish reading the email. I just hit unsubscribe right away.
So what's interesting about this news is the fact that pay attention to when it actually came out. So this news actually came out after there was confirmation that Wilder will not be with the Zone, right?
Yeah,
So it's
Nothing
like,
to do.
then boom, boop, 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 money goes up.
yeah.
What do you say, Gio?
Has nothing to do with that.
What do you mean?
So
I don't know. I don't like talking about businesses because at the end of the day, we don't know anything about businesses. So
Not really,
I'm
because
not gonna talk about people's pockets.
not because at the end
You
of the
only
day,
know what they want you to know.
no, but at the end of the day, we're here at a university. We both got degrees under our belts, right? So we can at least make a.
Did you get a
edu-
business
we
degree?
can- no, but at the end of the day, I took my macro and microeconomics class, right? So we can speak on it from that sense, right?
mhm.
No.
So at the end of the day, it just comes down to Ed seeing from the
I don't know,
point
it
of
just sounds
perspective.
silly when people talk about business. When we really don't know anything. So
Well, I
I
mean,
like to stay out of those combos.
then you should be quiet then.
I
If we came, then me and Chris should just have a conversation about
Yeah.
business then.
No, I get what you're saying. You're making like an educated,
It's just it's not
People don't know
coincidence, right?
anything at the end of the day. But
Mhm.
Is it coincidence
Is it
that the prize
coincidence?
wins that same week? But you know,
they expected maybe to recoup.
but we all saw this coming at the end of the day. That the
Yeah,
price
we
had to
talked
go
about
up.
this 2 months
so
ago,
that's
maybe
every business.
that the price is
That's
gonna
every
go up.
streaming business.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting what the Zone's gonna be doing with the fights later on after seeing September, that festival, right after Canelo.
Mhm.
What are you gonna be lining up with that? We also have ESPN with Gozik fighting on Saturday too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting just because when you think about ESPN and Top Rank, all the 175 fighters are in ESPN. So
Mm-hmm.
more than likely you'll probably see unification with Kovalev and you're going to probably see Gilberto Ramirez in that headline later on 2 weeks from now. So it'll be interesting watching that fight. So we'll see because this is the fight after he defeated Adonis Stevenson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be good. See how makes his first defense.
That and Teddy Alice too.
Teddy. Oh, Teddy. Talking
Yo,
about.
did you catch the Magdaleno fight?
I
No
saw,
love
like-
for Magdaleno, man.
I saw like one round and
I saw like the first 5 rounds and then I had
Yeah.
to do something, but I'm assuming he won.
He won. I honestly heard that you didn't miss a lot. The other guy was not engaging as much. He wasn't even.
Do you know what weight class was it on?
Magdaleno.
Yeah.
This is 120. I want to say 122.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, he didn't miss much. It's just a W on his record, I guess you can say, because the other guy did not put much resistance. Not even made it. It wasn't really competitive. It wasn't. Yeah, not much you can take
So
away.
it was decision.
Decision. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because I saw the first like 5-6 rounds, and then I didn't hear anything after that. So
Yeah. The biggest takeaway, I guess you can say, Kristina Pancha is the first, female to do the play-by-play, or the
She's
second
one.
one.
Of the best.
Yeah, but she's one of the best out there, and so
oh,
yeah.
I had it in Spanish. They had Romano Marquez actually. So
Se
it's pretty cool.
Marquez. Yeah. So yeah, since we're talking about ESPN, do you guys hear about the comments Bob Arum made about Lomachenko and Mikey?
What do you
So
say?
he's pretty much saying that that Mikey's no longer a 50-50 split. So the
Oh.
fight negotiations were
See
going
the
to be.
promoter.
Yeah.
He's
But
building it up.
I'll ask you guys this. They both have one loss. I'm asking you guys, who has a better resume, though? Loma or Mikey at this point?
Professional.
Yeah.
Well, they be most of the same names except
Yeah.
for Salido.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably Loma slightly.
Slightly bit. Yeah. I think they're pretty close, but
You think that fight's gonna be made?
it's more possible now that Mikey's not going to be in the 147s. Obviously, he has to come down, so I would say it's more likely now. Maybe not right
I think
away.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, not right away,
anytime
but
soon.
I say in 2 years' time, somewhere along those lines. The good thing
Kind
that
of like that Mayweather Pacquiao. Like
yeah.
they didn't want to give Bob Arum.
I was gonna say that next.
Yeah.
Like, how petty is Mikey to not want to give, Bob
mean,
Arum a
would you?
payday?
Would you? Like if you were Mikey, would you want Bob Arum to make money off of you?
Obviously not, but
Again?
but at the same time, it's like I just lost to this guy. I kind of had to bounce
Yeah.
back with the signature win, and I think I think he can be Loma,
Yeah.
bigger guy.
Loma's kind of small. I don't know.
Yeah.
You saw him live, so
Yeah.
he's like my size, huh?
Yeah, he's a little bit taller, but
And
yeah.
you saw Mikey too.
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger. So we all saw that he got dropped by Linares, and
Yeah.
so Mikey does have that power. He does have that that fundamental boxing, and he's got the experience. Loma doesn't have the long arms or the size that Spence has. So yeah,
Let me ask you something. Do you think that, because I know the WBC are gonna have a meeting with Mike Garcia, what's he gonna be doing with that belt, whether he keeps it at 135? But do you still think that he's still gonna run that philosophy of high risk and high reward? Because ever since he came back to boxing, he's been fighting for a belt, or he's been fighting for monetary reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, what other fight right now is high risk, lower? You said high risk, high reward, right?
I would just say philosophy. I wouldn't say, what type of opponent we could credible, whether it's high risk or not. But do you think he's still going to be able to do the same thing after this defeat?
I think he can still do that, but I don't think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna start taking his dad's advice and because they did tell him stay away from Spence right now, but he wanted to challenge himself. Obviously, he came up short, but he didn't really take you can't really take a lot off of him for doing that. And it takes a lot to do that.
His mandatory is Luke Campbell.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I could see him taking a few, bounce back winnable fights, and then challenging Loma. So
Yeah, I don't see that fight happening within the next 2 years.
the Loma,
Yeah, probably later.
yeah, maybe. I say the end of 2 years time, maybe from 2 to 4, but even that's pushing it.
Yeah.
They're in their early 30s, so
Yeah, something like that. You know what? I did want to ask you though. What are some memorable fights that you remember where the size difference was very visible?
De La Hoya versus Hopkins.
I was gonna say that one. Yeah.
That one.
Hopkins against Trinidad kind of too.
Yeah, that one
'cause
too.
Hopkins was too much for them at 160.
Yeah.
Right. Marquez against Mayweather.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Marquez was fighting at 130. Mayweather was fighting at 147.
I would say
catch me 144.
Big Baby Miller against anybody.
Klitschko against anybody. Yeah, but that one was interesting, the Marquez one, because he made like
Yeah.
600K off of the 2 pounds.
That's pretty much it. It was a lightweight coming up to face a welterweight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was gonna fight basically like 20 pounds above, because 130 to 147, and then obviously that was a shutout.
Yeah.
But dude, do you remember that fight that we were watching, the Jack Dempsey fight? Like it's just Willard. Oh my god, dude.
You gotta add
If
that.
you guys
in
haven't
there.
watched this,
Oh my
I'm gonna
goodness.
put the clips up. But that's like the most entertaining fight I've seen. Jack Dempsey was like 6'1".
And we were
6 feet tall.
sober, so like it was
I
good.
actually have a better one. There's another one. I gotta show it to you. Both
What
you
up?
guys.
So Jack Dempsey was 6'1". The other guy was like almost 6'7".
6'7". He's
Yeah,
a basketball
he's a
player.
giant, and
It's like
yeah, that fight was one of the best fights I've ever seen. That's when boxing was just like a savage sport.
damn refs gave no fucks.
Good times.
It's like, are you gonna count him out till he's dead or what the fuck?
Still moving.
Yeah,
He's still breathing.
yeah. I literally had a seizure laughing when I was watching.
Dude, you didn't
that.
believe what was
I
going
didn't
on. You're like,
actually believe.
I was like, Chris probably thinks these guys are actors or
Yeah, I
something.
thought it
like,
was fake,
What
dude.
movie is this?
Yeah.
who edited it? Yeah.
I completely didn't know anything about boxing after watching that.
Mm. Yeah, the one that most comes to mind is Marquez Mayweather. Even though they were, you know, size-wise they were pretty close, but it was just the weight difference and
The length. Mayweather's he's pretty long. Pause for his size. He has long arms.
usually the little good guy comes in short, and that's what happened. I'm trying to think of a time where the smaller guy beat the bigger guy. Duran?
Duran against Leonard.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That one was crazy because
Yeah.
he wasn't even that big.
Yeah.
He would get heavy because of all the stuff he used to do outside the ring, but
Man, that one's a good one. I think of Pacquiao Margarito.
Pacquiao
Margarito's
against
slow.
everybody.
Yeah, for real. Well, Margarito's slow. What else comes to mind? Oh yeah, Meldrick Taylor versus Terry Norris. That one's Meldrick Taylor he was outboxing
I've
this
never seen
guy.
that one actually.
That's I think Chavez Senior also fought Terry Norris. But yeah, Meldrick Taylor was like outboxing him for a good minute, but then just the size and power of Terry Norris was just too much. He knocked him out. I think in the fourth or fifth. But yeah, this is all post Chavez Senior, so yeah, not the same after fighting Senior like that.
So next week will be interesting, but I will say that this is the last podcast before the end of the month. So is there anything that you learned for this month of March?
Man. Oh yeah, I guess you can say Mikey has. Okay, so two things. Mikey does have big cajones, bro. To step up to to step up to not just like any welterweight, but
You're like
one of the best. If
You're
not
like he
the best.
actually showed up to the fight.
And second, that Spence can box. Like he can box. You could kind of say he could have bullied him, but he wanted to show like another aspect of his game, and he did. You know, so for sure, that's what I learned. Those two things.
I don't know if I learned much, but I learned that the welterweight division is heating up, and these guys can't run from each other now.
Yeah.
All that's kind of clearing. Like, all right, you fought your mandatory. You fought the guy you're supposed to beat.
No more Salkas, man.
No.
After Danny gets that win, if he gets it, you know, now it's all, you know, with the exception of Thurman, because his health, whatever, his injuries, but everybody else is like, all right, you won this fight, now what?
How about you, Chris?
Anthony still looks good at 168, right? So-
Oh, I got some news outside of
Oh yeah.
for you guys.
So, yeah, that's something that I took upon. He kind of like set the tone like for this month, but yeah, it was nice to see him back starting the new year and fighting next month. But other than that, John Skipper, you know, like we don't see Al Heyman, but we can at least see John Skipper. We finally see kind of the true colors of the zone, right? They got the guy that they've been wanting, Triple G, and then they couldn't get the guy to unify. But we also found out the obvious, right? The subscription fee increase.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. Yeah, it's just nice to know that Triple G is back. This guy's finally back. Obviously, like they made it clear how many fights they see him. 6 is 6 and done. You know. And I think I'm okay with that. Like, I think Joe would agree, right? 6 for Triple G, 6 fight deal.
Do you
I
think?
don't see him fighting any more than that. You think that's a
He's
lot?
gonna have to fight a lot of taxi drivers and
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think they'll probably modify Canelo's contract to fight more than twice a year?
they might have to.
Because I did heard that he's interested in fighting a third fight.
I was gonna say
at the
that.
end of this year.
Yeah, they might modify it.
I think they might.
They're gonna want to make some of that money back because, yeah, twice a year is obviously May and September, but they already tested out the December date, so that might be, yeah, they're gonna. I think they are gonna try to squeeze them out.
Anything else you learned for the month of March Madness?
Next year for the Lakers.
No, that's true.
You guys saw that? Obviously you guys saw it.
What?
Lance? The Lance.
He stepped on his foot.
Oh man, he celebrated like he did it on his own.
That's him.
Oh, what were you gonna say about Anthony?
Oh, so we have some news outside. Obviously, they haven't come up with his opponent yet. Maybe by the end of this week, they'll have his opponent for
April 26th.
Yeah, but
I thought you said outside the podcast.
I will tell you the second part of the news outside the podcast.
Oh.
It's a fine announcement, but I'll tell you guys after.
Oh, I thought you were gonna promote his.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
So Anthony is fighting April 26th at the Forum. The opponent to be determined, but this is a stack card, and
What do you call
his
it again?
speech, fool.
Hmm?
His speech, right? Isn't
oh,
he
that's
gonna
right.
speak
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, and he will be speaking tomorrow to the Male Success
What
Alliance
date? What's the
students. It is
People don't know what tomorrow is.
March 28th at Cal State Dominguez Hills University, and he's going to be talking about mental health, illness, and identity. So we know him. We know that that's something bigger than boxing. That he has taken it upon himself to that's his purpose, to change as many lives as he can, to try to get his message out. That mental illness is something that you deal with, and it's something that's never going to go away. It's something that people on the daily, have to deal with, and sometimes people don't talk about it. But he wants to make it easy, make it a space where you can actually start talking about it without repercussions, without he wants you to make it easy for you guys to just talk about it. So tomorrow he's going to be talking to the students here at Dominguez Hills, and yeah, man, support.
Yeah, on the campus of Dominguez Hills. Shout out to KDHR. Yeah, shout out to Anthony too. He'll tell us the news, the cliffhanger after.
Yeah. Y'all be shocked. I was shocked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we had the pre-meeting last week, and he kind of brought it up. Nobody really knew what he was talking about, because the guys that don't really follow boxing, but he's all like, you can't tell nobody, not even the guys.
Oh,
yeah, he's like, you can tell the guys, but tell them later. And I was like, all right, for sure.
Well, they can't tell the other guys.
Mhm.
Can't tell the beat the count guy. Oh man, yeah, good stuff.
All right. Anything you guys have before we sign out?
I think that's. Oh, you want to talk about that Pulev heavyweight? We missed that one.
I didn't even watch
Pulev?
it.
The Pulev.
Is he somebody worth take notice?
A little
Pulev,
bit, yeah.
yeah.
He's gonna be like one of the heavyweights that they use. He only lost to Vladimir Klitschko, and yeah, he's in line for Joshua, right? Mandatory, so he'll be there. But I guess he made more noise outside the ring, which is crazy because he got a knockout. He got rocked in the fourth, but he came back and knocked his opponent down like 3 times.
Round. If it's under 7, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I think it was under 7.
All right.
Yeah, he knocked him down 3 times. Finally, took him out in the 3rd knockdown. So that was. He has a good following, Bulgarian following. They were all
They
excited
do.
for him.
Bulgaria, damn.
But yeah, I guess he made noise for outside of the ring.
What
He
do
had
you
a post fight interview with a friend, supposedly a friend. But yeah, he just grabbed her, kissed her, man,
With a friend?
with a reporter. But he claims that
Was it kind of like Casillas? Remember Iker Casillas with his? But that was like his girlfriend.
That's his
so
girlfriend that
is
was a
this his
reporter.
friend or just a
Oh.
random
Oh.
reporter? Or
Oh. He says friend, but
he says she's just a friend?
oh, connecting the dots. Might be something there then.
No.
How did she
He said no.
respond?
Did you read it, Chris?
She was surprised.
She was
of it.
surprised.
Yeah, just by watching the video.
Yeah. And she looked like she. I mean, I'm not gonna say she enjoyed it, but she wasn't too upset.
She didn't say no.
She didn't.
No,
He
she,
didn't have his
she
mouth
just
guard in?
she
laughed.
was being really professional about
She's
it.
very, very
He didn't
professional.
have his mouth guard
She
in
was
there?
really surprised.
Took
No.
the gloves off?
Yeah, she wasn't noticeably upset, but man, Yeah.
Yeah, he
Just-
crossed the line.
he
Shouldn't
crossed the
have done
line. Yeah. Obviously, behind professional, they probably are friends, and
So was this like kind of like for a different news, like a different
It was like
channel, or
it's kind
it
of like
wasn't for ESPN?
no, it was like
obviously.
independent media kind
Yeah,
of.
okay.
Yeah.
independent
Like,
YouTube channel.
backstage.
Yeah, like
Alright.
backstage. So
Yeah.
but I think he had more views for that than for his knockout. But yep, that's Pulev for you. Be on the lookout. Anything else that you guys want to add?
That's it for me, dude. You know, I've been watching that Mike Tyson podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Hot boxing. It's good. It's
Yeah?
crazy. He just tells crazy stories. He smokes weed.
Damn.
Should watch the Teddy Atlas one.
I was gonna say that. No, they should
Nah,
have
he don't got crazy
there's-
stories like.
Oh no,
this
Teddy
guy.
Atlas.
Teddy's just deep.
He's just deep.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like if you're somebody that doesn't want to be educated, then keep watching something else.
I mean, I think Teddy's just deep, and he's somewhat entertaining if you
About
like
what?
his style. But
About what?
Man, you get to a stage
Life.
when you're in life, and sometimes that's the thing. You take advice and you actually don't interrupt them. You actually listen to them, right?
yeah,
I'm having a conversation with you, Chris. I'm listening, right? Teddy Atlas, he's like an open book. There's no censorship, right?
yeah. I like that he had Chango. You guys saw that? Did you see that? He had Chango, the guy that just.
Yeah.
That one's a good one. I was like,
Cancio.
we should reach out to Cancio. But yeah, it's some of the same lessons that we hear from Anthony.
But
and
it's
stuff.
just boxing, right?
Yeah, boxing, life stuff.
I
But
need more boxing in my life.
she's like, I want some entertainment, man. I want some.
Yeah, I want
Everybody.
some real stories. I want some real stories, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
Tyson's the guy with all those stories, man. All those
Yeah.
crazy stories, man. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Sharpie, but man, that's a whole nother. Shout out to
Yeah,
Sharpie.
I don't watch TV, but I was stuck on that Tyson. I was
Yeah,
like,
how
this is
many
pretty good.
episodes you saw?
I saw like 3.
Okay, I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah, he normally has like a guest there with him. I
Okay.
think mostly people from New York, and they tell stories about how they used to see Tyson back in the day,
Yeah,
things like that.
I saw one where like I guess one of his buddies they went clubbing and at the end of the night I guess his buddy stayed over and then Tyson's like, "Oh, take my car, like I guess drive it home because I can't drive."
I haven't seen that one. but
Oh
shit.
my goodness! I guess he had the car for like 3 months.
Wow.
Like he had a park. He's like, I can't drive this car. It's Tyson's car. Like
Wow.
if I mess it up, like I'll never be able to pay this. So I guess 3 months later, one of Tyson's like one of his henchmen or something like comes back. He's like, "Oh, did Mike by chance give you a car or like lend you a car?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, it's in the garage." He's like, "Okay, we're just gonna pick it up."
Oh.
So fast forward like 20 years later, Mike and this guy
Wow.
reunite, and he's like, "Hey Mike, hey, what's up, blah blah." Like, remember we had so much fun, like 20, like yeah, man. He's all like, "Oh, you still got that car I gave you?" And the guy's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man, gave you that car." And that guy's all like, "Hey, nuts! One of your guys took it back." He's like, "Nah, man, that was for you. That was your car." So he's like, "X guy owes me like $450,000 in the
Yeah.
car." But yeah, that's
know,
just
I
like a
think-
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think the best way to summarize that show is last time they had Michael Rappaport. He's an actor.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Why
They were talking about Tyson wearing nothing but New Balance now, like this old dad shoes. That's like the best way I can describe that podcast, dude.
Okay.
Because he goes about talks about his daughters and just stories. He's like, dude,
Yeah.
I can't wear any other shoes but New Balance because my feet are so messed up from boxing.
Damn.
He's just like, I'm beyond that cool stage,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's funny.
Mike's the man.
Talk about wearing
It's my
old
favorite boxer of all
shoes,
time. I
right?
think we'll talk about that later on, but
Talking about dad shoes, right? So this thing about Lonzo Ball and Shannon Sharp was talking about if he's ever bought those shoes. You know Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, I heard of.
Yeah. So he Undisputed was.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know he is. Yeah.
They asked him because
Shannon James.
so the news about Lonzo Ball, his big brand, is
Leaving the guy.
like,
Yeah.
something like that, and they asked Shannon, "Hey, did you end up buying those shoes?" He's like, "Yeah." "Did you end up getting?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, will you ever tell somebody to wear them? He's like, if I had a flashlight and if I was a security guard, yeah, I'll be wearing those.
Man. So Alonso's his own man now, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Damn.
That's big steps, man.
All right,
All
man.
right. Oh, last thing, Chris. You want to talk about your experience with your marathon? I know this is your second time.
Yeah, second time.
Yeah. How was the experience different this time around?
No, seriously, got there at 5:15 a.m. at Dodger Stadium, and it was different compared to the Long Beach one, because this one was brutal from the beginning, because I had coordinated with the LA Marathon that I was gonna be in Coral B, so there's different stages where you run. So Coral A is like basically like the elite people, where your time will be under 3 hours, and my time was supposed to be from 3 to 3:30, and so that's Coral B, and then you have Coral C, D, E, and then behind Coral E is open. It's open, so
It's
that's
like whenever you just finish.
that's where all 20,000 people are there. And I was waiting in Coral B, and then that's when they tell me, "Oh, you're not in Coral B because there's no letter in your bib number." And I'm like, and that's when I started like, I was trying to not panic at the time, but that's when I realized that I'm gonna have to be in open Coral. So when that happened, I ended up quickly rushing, and I ended up breaking my phone. And it's crazy too, because all my life when I had a cell phone, I never bought a case for my phone, and I've always been safe without cracking my phone, and I ended up cracking my phone like Black Mirror, and I was disappointed in that. And then I was all the way in the back, trying to like be mentally prepared, understanding that I'm gonna have to pass by everybody, because compared to Long Beach, I had probably like only 200 people right in front of me, and then I was catching up to the top 50 people. This one I had to wait 15 minutes, basically 14 minutes, for everybody to get out of the starting line. So I had to wait 20,000 people, and the thing is, I didn't want to actually even look at the numbers at all, as far as like how my miles was, and I was telling people that I was training for the first 6 miles. Out of all the miles, I was only training for the 6 miles. I wasn't training for 26.2 miles. And everybody tells you, like, if you do the LA Marathon, the first 6 miles are probably the most important miles, because the elevation goes from 400 and into 300. And those are the max elevation numbers. No, I think 600 to 400. And I think that's one thing that I even like in the All-Star Boxing promotions last 2 Fridays ago. At the end, I think Alexis was there. I'm not sure if you pay attention, but I was actually bleeding from my nose. And part of the reason, because I'm breathing heavily now because of all the preparation and training. I've been doing nothing but resistance in this one, so all my calves and my quads were good to go. And then you asked me back in I think like March 9 about going to the fights, and I was saying, I can't go because I got to go to the doctor. So like the past month I've been battling my quad pain on my left, and I didn't want to tell anybody, because if I tell somebody, oh look, I'm battling this pain, people are gonna start saying, oh like, those are the excuses if you don't finish at all. Like I'm just setting. I'm like, I didn't actually want to do that at all. And man, as soon as I finally got out of the starting line, imagine going up, running under a mile, 6 minutes and 55, and then you see 20,000 people right in front of you. And you know when you run, you can run fast when you're going in a straight line. Now imagine doing that, but you're going left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, trying to dodge all the people, because all those people are not in your.
You're trying to pass them. Yeah.
I'm trying to pass them, and that's what ended up costing me. And my friend, she was actually looking at the numbers in the beginning, and it sucks, dude, because like I've been training for this since basically mid-October, and I've been trying to train for a time under 3:30, just because I have my sets high for the Boston Marathon next year, and that one you can't enter. You have to actually qualify
For that one.
So my time was supposed to be under 3:30, and so I couldn't start until the 14-minute, and then I did everything I can to catch up. Like literally, for the first time I ran 9 miles within an hour, and like it's one of those things like where, like I completely understood. Like I remember Gio was asking me like that one time, when you understand like you have to give it your best, like your 100%, and you don't actually do it in training. Like I completely understood like there's no fucking tomorrow, and towards what was so amazing was like I was passing by, because people have different like times. People had like 6, passed by them 5:30, 5:15, 4:45, like was getting there. I was trying to catch up to the 3:30 people, and I finally passed by the 3:45 people within the like 13-mile mark, and I knew like the numbers literally like tell a story when I was actually finally looking at them, because I know like if I look at these numbers, I'm gonna be like killing myself. And unbelievable, like what happened in the last mile. Pretty sure my family or friends were there, you would have probably like panic. So after the 25th mile, I ended up falling down. So both of my quads, I gave up. The one that I had a problem on my left, as soon as I passed the 25th mile, it just stopped. And you know when you fall down, you put pressure on your right leg. Yeah, so I ended up putting all my pressure on right, and when that happened, that one something grew and just like popped like that. And then and I didn't want to put more pressure on my left, so I ended up falling on my left elbow. You can see like I have a nice little like cut right there, and some Hispanic guy just comes out of nowhere and just puts all this spray on my quads. And when that happened, I was at 320. So all I needed so when I fell down, I was at 320.
That was you said mile 25, so you had like a mile 0.2.
Yeah, so I was at 320 when that happened. Man, I was on the floor for like 12 or 15 minutes. Yeah. It sucks. But yeah.
That's cool, bro. It's all right, man.
Yeah, it took me a mile, so a mile 0.3. It took me 21 minutes to do. So that sucks because I ended up finishing in 3 hours and 41 minutes. So all the preparation for the past 6 months, like it was there for the 3:30 end. If I wouldn't have fallen down, if I wouldn't have been in the open curl, if my phone wouldn't broke, like all those things happened right before the marathon. So I was conserving all that energy. I should have never ran miles under 6:55. I was trying to do those mile times in the end, but it's hard to run it's difficult, man. I almost had it. So, and what's funny too, cause like my therapist, even like she knew what was at stake when it came down to the Long Beach Marathon. Like she completely understood that what was at stake, and I told her like about the LA Marathon too, and she completely understood that too. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Even when Brandon Adams talking about the options he has regarding the zone and PBC, like same thing right now with me too. Like the Long Beach Marathon for me was like my past, and then the LA Marathon was about the present, and I was telling her the third one, coincidentally, it's when everything started hitting me in life, and that was July 28th. So coincidentally, July 28th, it's the San Francisco Marathon. So whatever happens July 28th, that's where I'm gonna be at, and I know for sure I'll be doing my best to break that time so I could do Boston. But it pains me to fall down in that last mile. Yeah, because I never did something like that, to train for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I almost had it. And I'm telling you, this is the Long Beach Marathon is the hardest thing I ever did in my life compared to undergrad and graduate school. People could do that. And I tell people, like, when you graduate, nobody tells you how long it took you to do school. Like, it doesn't say. It just says your name and the year. This right here tells you how long it took you to complete. And, yeah. I mean, afterwards, I was literally in Santa Monica for, like, 3 hours and just trying to, like, meditate. And, yeah. And I told you already, I'm going to go through physical therapy because of both of my quads. And So I try to recover as much as I can't run for the next 6 weeks just because how bad my legs are. I could barely even walk right now. I don't know how I made it work on Monday. So I'm not working until next Wednesday. So I'm just going to take some time off. But yeah, let me show you the medal.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you before the podcast, bro. Running, long distances, and boxing, I think those are like two of the toughest sports out there, dude. Just because it's just you by yourself. Nobody else pushing your freaking body to limits that nobody really pushes. Dude, so I just want to tell you, dude, that we're proud of you, bro. Like,
yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not easy, man. Like, not everybody. If it was easy, everybody would do it, dude. But it's not easy. Running, long distances, boxing, these are sports that are not easy, man. So
yeah,
just know that we're proud of you. This is a minor setback, dude. Like, we already know, like, next one you're gonna finish it. And you're gonna finish it like with that time that that you wrote down that piece of paper. So yeah, man, we're gonna see you in Boston, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but yeah. So this weekend I'll be in San Francisco and just stay away from here and just meditate, and I'll be back. But we'll see what happens. But it's just crazy to train for 6 months, and I can understand what Anthony was talking about the other time when he was done with the fight. He was talking about that the boxers should see therapists after they fight, because they take a lot of it takes something away from them when they fight, and that's the same thing with this too. Like, after I was done with this, like, something like takes away from you. Ended up texting people like, this took literally like a year or two of my life, and running, I think a lot of people understand now that completely that this is not even about running anymore. So it's not about running. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to July 28 and just recover. But yeah, and today I was doing therapy, and I walked a mile just so I can remind myself how much it felt on Sunday. And yeah, just like I am mentally like drained from all of this, and I can only imagine what's going to happen if Anthony ever gets defeated. Like, that's when the match is even. That's when you're like faced with what type of person you are, and I just can't believe this happened in the last mile. Unbelievable. It was like some stupid movie, honestly. And I hit the floor really hard too, and I would say though that if this would have happened in the 18 or 19 mile, I would have just told the USC medical staff to get me out of the marathon, because the pain was really real. But like I told people, like, when you're in that finish line in that LA marathon, the beach is right to the right, and the sun is out and the clouds are out, and it just looked like heaven. And you're not even thinking about the pain at all, and you had this fire lady waiting to greet me. I didn't even handshake her. I just ended up like hugging her, just because, man, it's a lot to bear. It's a lot to bear, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to all the people in the comment section. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Facebook. It's brand new at Against the Ropes. And we'll be back next week. Peace.
Peace.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.